In January 1941, the German battlecruisers Gneisenau and Scharnhorst proceeded to sea and spent 2 months attacking Allied convoys in the Atlantic, destroying 22 ships before returning to the western French port of Brest, going into dry dock on the 22nd of March. Once they'd arrived there, the RAF began attacks on the harbor. On the night of the 4th and 5th of April, a single bomb nearly missed Gneisenau and forced her out of dry dock while it was removed. With one German ship now back in the water, albeit temporarily, Coastal Command's 22 Squadron, consisting of Beaufort bombers, was detailed to attack her the following morning. 3 aircraft would carry bombs in order to attack the anti-torpedo nets, followed by 3 more to drop torpedoes. Such an attack would be difficult for many reasons. Gneisenau was protected by a stone breakwater just 500 yards away from her, requiring precise timing for the dropping of a torpedo. The rising ground on the other side of the ship would be difficult to clear upon completion of an attack run, and the whole harbor was protected by hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of guns on both land and water. A successful attack was unlikely, and escape after making one even more unlikely. The raid proceeded anyway, early in the morning of the 6th of April, but things began to go wrong very quickly. 2 of the 3 aircraft carrying bombs didn't take off at all due to heavy mud on the runway, while the third did get off the ground but lost its way and never reached Brest. Bad weather also held up all 3 torpedo aircraft, but they did all eventually make it to the harbor. The first 2, piloted by Flying Officer Hyde and Sergeant Camp, waited outside the harbor for the bombers to make their runs, not knowing that they wouldn't be coming. The third was piloted by 23-year-old Flying Officer Kenneth Campbell. He also waited for a time, but as it was getting lighter out, making the already long odds even worse, he decided to make his attack anyway. His torpedo run was successful, and Gneisenau was only kept afloat by the efforts of other vessels around her. Unfortunately, the Beaufort did not emerge from the harbor, having been taken down by the vast amount of anti-aircraft fire thrown at her as she attempted to pull away. As the other 2 Beauforts remained outside the harbor this whole time, Flying Officer Campbell's act was witnessed by resistance fighters working in Brest. Word of what happened eventually came back to Britain, and his VC was announced 11 months later. For an action that's relatively unknown today, this torpedo run was quite significant. Bismarck, Germany's largest and probably most infamous battleship, was preparing to put to sea the following month. It was hoped that Gneisenau or Scharnhorst would be able to join her. Scharnhorst's machinery issues precluded her from doing this, but had Gneisenau not been struck by this well-placed torpedo, she might have been able to do so, which would have made the Royal Navy's hunting down of Bismarck much more difficult than it already was.